There has been a big development in Russian-Ukraine war, which could be the game changer for Ukraine. Ukraine has begun in the air training on F-16s, a key development in its fight against Russia. Before we dive in details, please subscribe to the channel and stay always one step ahead to know all global important events happening around you. Give a thumbs up and share the video with your family and friends. Let's move on with the video. Ukraine's pilots are now learning to fly Western F-16 fighter jets. Ukraine has sought F-16s since the early days of Russia's invasion. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has long said, the country's long-term security hinges on its ability to compete with Russian air power. So, for Ukraine's allies, it was welcome news that Ukraine's pilots are finally flying F-16 fighter jets. Yuri Ignat, a spokesperson for the Ukrainian Air Force, said that Ukrainian soldiers had begun in-the-air flight training on F-16 jets supplied by Western countries, according to Defense Blog, a military blog run by a former Ukrainian defense consultant. Some pilots are already undergoing air training with an instructor on combat aircraft, Ignat said during a nationally televised broadcast, according to the outlet, so everything is going according to plan. Ukraine has sought F-16s for its arsenal of fighter jets since the early days of Russia's invasion. John Baum, a retired U.S. Air Force lieutenant colonel, previously told Insider that the American-made F-16 is one of the most capable dogfighting jets in the world. Russia's more technologically advanced jets, like the MiG-31 and Su-25, can outmaneuver Ukraine's Soviet-era MiG-29 and Su-27 using advanced equipment, Insider previously reported. While Ukraine needs the modern F-16 to better compete, it also needs them because it's proving difficult to repair its current fleet of fighter jets. Bryn Tannehill, a defense expert and former U.S. Navy pilot, previously told Insider that Ukraine is having trouble replacing parts on its Soviet-made jets because those parts are largely inside Russia. While a small group of Ukrainians are training on the F-16s in the United States, most of them are in Romania. 5 F-16s supplied by the Dutch are now at a Romanian training center. The Netherlands Armed Forces said it expects to supply another 18 jets by the end of the year. Defense experts previously told Insider that adding AIM-9 and AIM-120 missiles could give the F-16s in Ukraine an incredible capability for close-range battles. The missiles use infrared heat-seeking guidance to deliver a high-explosive warhead to its target. They have the potential to seriously impact Russia's economy and international relations. On August 29th, the U.S. Department of Defense announced it was sending AIM-9M Sidewinder missiles to Ukraine as part of a $250 million security assistance package. And the sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline could hit Russia's economy hard, cutting off a major source of income. Economic sanctions, a powerful tool in the diplomatic toolkit, are now being put to the test. How will Russia respond? What happens when the world's most populous country gets involved in an international conflict? How does this change the dynamics? Let's delve into China's role in the ongoing Ukraine conflict. China's position on this conflict has been of concern to many, especially given its recent diplomatic activities. The country's top diplomat, Wang Yi, met with the head of Russia's Security Council, Nikolai Patrushev, in Moscow. The two agreed to oppose the Cold War mentality and strengthen multilateral cooperation for global governance. They also discussed the situation in Ukraine. This meeting signals a potential shift in the balance of powers and raises questions about China's role in this conflict. Does this meeting indicate an alliance between China and Russia, or is it just a diplomatic courtesy? The answers to these questions could have significant implications for the global political landscape. Adding to the intrigue, China has expressed concerns about the conflict spiraling out of control. This statement suggests that China acknowledges the potential for this conflict to have far-reaching impacts beyond Ukraine's borders. It also hints at China's possible interest in playing a mediating role to prevent further escalation. However, it's important to note that China has not condemned Russia's actions and has instead strengthened its support for Moscow over the past year. This stance has made some countries wary. A deputy mayor of Lviv even warned China against getting involved in the Ukraine war, stating that supplying lethal weapons to Russia could have unpredictable consequences for the Chinese economy and future. China's involvement in this conflict adds another layer of complexity to an already convoluted situation. The world watches and waits. What happens when a peace treaty that was once a beacon of hope starts to crumble? Let's delve into this as we discuss the recent events surrounding the New START nuclear arms reduction treaty. This treaty, signed by Russia and the United States in 2010, was a symbol of a shared commitment to limit nuclear arms and promote global security. It was hailed as a significant achievement and a step towards a safer world. But the ongoing conflict has cast a long, ominous shadow over this once promising pact. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a move that sent shockwaves around the globe, formally declared Russia's suspension of participation in the New START treaty. This was not a decision made lightly, nor was it one that went unnoticed. The implications of this suspension are far-reaching and deeply concerning. The New START treaty was a cornerstone of global security, a check against the unfettered proliferation of nuclear weapons. Its suspension threatens to destabilize the delicate balance of power that has been painstakingly built over decades. It raises the specter of an arms race, the likes of which we haven't seen since the darkest days of the Cold War. The United Kingdom, among other nations, has expressed hope that Putin will reconsider this decision. It is a decision that jeopardizes global security for political gain, a dangerous game to play in an already volatile landscape. This move has not only strained relations further but also left the world in a state of heightened anxiety and uncertainty. The suspension of the New START treaty raises many questions about the future of global security. Will a new era of Cold War ensue? What happens when war crimes become a part of daily news? What does it say about our world today? The city of Kherson in Ukraine offers a chilling answer. From March to November of 2022, the city was under the iron grip of Russian forces. Detainees in at least 20 detention centers were subjected to brutal torture and abuse, including beatings, electrocution, and waterboarding. This was not random violence, but a calculated attempt to extinguish Ukrainian identity and eliminate resistance. This systematic brutality leaves a stain on the international perception of Russia. These alleged war crimes speak to a disregard for human rights that challenges the world's collective conscience. The implications are far-reaching, casting a long shadow over Russia's standing in the global community. The impact on the morale of the Ukrainian people is equally profound. The specter of such atrocities fosters fear, but it also fuels determination. The people of Ukraine are not just victims, they are survivors, standing against oppression and fighting for their freedom. The horrors of war are not just about the battlefield. They reach into the hearts and minds of those affected, leaving scars that may never heal. As the world grapples with these allegations, we are reminded of the high cost of conflict.